Hello and welcome to Golf News Now, your best place to find your breaking news and hottest leads in the golf world. I'm your host, Chowder Williams, and we've got a great episode on tap for you guys today regarding the drama between Phil Mickelson, Augusta National, and the PGA Tour. It's recently come to light that the PGA and Augusta National committees have either disinvited altogether or strongly discouraged the three-time Masters champion from attending the Masters and would not be able to participate either. I have a feeling Phil wouldn't have played or showed his face around Augusta, but having a past champion disallowed from the grounds is out of bounds in my opinion. Our woke culture has arrived in the golf world, and I would argue that this is a tactic being used by the PGA Tour to exert control over its players and its tournaments. The PGA Tour and Augusta have a symbiotic relationship. It's clear both are rewarded handsomely for the viewership and patronage of tournaments like the Masters with high levels of prestige. The media dollars involved with golf right now are astronomical, and neither party wants to irritate the other. At the end of the day, the PGA Tour holds most, if not all, the cards, so these tournament hosts have very little as far as recourse available to them. If a tournament host disagrees with a PGA Tour decision, tough luck, and you better not request changes. If you want this PGA Tour sanctioned event in your town next year, don't ask any questions. So if the PGA Tour happens to ask you to disinvite Phil Mickelson to your event, you're going to do it. No questions asked. Let me break down a little bit of what has the PGA Tour and Phil Mickelson at odds here. You don't have to look any further than the Player Impact Program, which was created in response to the creation of the Premier Golf League. This is the Saudi-backed Super Golf League. And this was a direct threat to the PGA Tour, and they've approached it as such, creating a $50 million slush fund to pay off or bribe, however you want to look at it, the top 10 players on the PGA Tour, and to create attack dogs out of them with the sole purpose. And that sole purpose is to delegitimize this new Saudi-backed golf league. If you've noticed, every single one of these players in this impact program has mysteriously come out against the Saudi-backed golf league. The Player Impact Program wasn't about the PGA Tour being nice and decide to spread a little bit of the wealth from all the media dollars they take in every year. This was in direct response to the Saudi-backed golf league and their attempts to lure PGA Tour professionals away with lucrative contracts and media dollars, which the PGA Tour, that was their Achilles heel because they weren't spreading the wealth around, and that's where the Saudis knew how to hit them. The Player Impact Program was a calculated business decision to try and protect the tour from any competition and remain the number one tour in professional golf. The PGA Tour was smart in this aspect and knew if they could sway their top players to their side, that'd be enough to keep players with less prestige or notoriety from speaking out or committing to play in this Saudi league. This is where Phil Mickelson comes in. Phil believed his fame and fortune was enough and he could try to take the PGA Tour on alone. Boy, was he wrong. It all comes back to this interview Phil gave to reporter Alan Shipnuck discussing his involvement with the creation of the Saudi Super League and his belief he could manipulate the PGA Tour into a better media contract for the PGA Tour players if they believed the Super Saudi League was a real threat and would start to affect their media dollar contracts they were getting. According to Phil Mickelson, all of this was supposed to be off the record and was reported anyway. It seems really strange to me that Phil would air all this dirty laundry and then be surprised by the blowback. His reaction tells me he truly thought these comments were off the record. In Phil's eyes, he thought he could twist the PGA Tour's arm by making them fear losing out on these huge media deals because they weren't the only show in town any longer, and the media dollars would reflect such. Basically, NBC and Fox wouldn't get these huge deals any longer, and they'd probably be cut in half. And the PGA Tour wasn't willing to take that chance. This point was driven home by Phil Mickelson in his comments given to Alan Shipnuck when he discussed him playing in the match on TNT. I think everybody's familiar. TNT is a Turner broadcast company, and that's outside of the PGA Tour umbrella. And the PGA Tour was not going to have that. Phil Mickelson is a piece of property owned by the PGA Tour, and for him to have the ability to go appear on a different network, he had to pay the PGA Tour $1 million to release his own media rights so he could appear on TNT. That's crazy. We're allowed to pay college students now, and this guy's got to pay $1 million for his media rights? This all just seems greedy beyond belief. And when the PGA Tour is in control of every dollar associated with the PGA Tour, whether that be licensing footage, apparel, media contracts, literally everything associated with the PGA Tour and how that money is distributed, that's so greedy, and all the execs are taking home way too much money, and they wouldn't be anything without these players. Phil made claims that only 25 to 30% of the media-related money found its way back to the players. That seems to be fair, right? The PGA Tour takes 75% and the players take 25%. That's laughable. These execs wouldn't be anything, and it should be 90% to the players, 10% to the execs, as the execs sit in their office and make business decisions. I'm not trying to belittle what these execs are doing, but they aren't doing anything compared to the talent of golf that they see on any given day. Do I agree with how Phil Mickelson handled the controversy with the creation of the Super Saudi League? No, I do not. Do I think Phil handled this pretty poorly and should have approached this differently? Yes, 100%. I think Phil had the facts and public opinion on his side, and now he's lost both. It appears to me that the creation of the new Premier Golf League would do nothing but increase competition and result in a better product for the consumer. The PGA Tour has already enacted another spending spree at the beginning of the 2022 season to redistribute, as they claim, $857 million to the players top down. I don't think anyone can argue that the effects of the Super League are already taking shape on the PGA Tour, and it means nothing but good things for the pros and the fans alike. The PGA Tour has run too long unopposed, and that's made them overly greedy and not willing to change their ways. It took a threat of losing some of its top players and their oh-so-precious media dollars for the PGA Tour to act, and that shows their true colors. Phil Mickelson outed the PGA Tour execs as the bunch of money-sucking leeches that they really are, and now they want payback. I'll put my tinfoil hat on for a second and reason that if that reporter that released Phil Mickelson's supposed off-the-record comments was maybe promise an exclusive story or maybe 10 exclusive stories with one of those bribed attack dogs from the Player Impact Program, I wonder what that would look like. All that being said, you can't just cancel someone and act like their accomplishments don't exist. Phil Mickelson is a 3-time Master winner and the defending PGA champion, for goodness sakes. He's one of the best to ever play the game of golf. I'm sorry he had a disagreement with the greedy PGA Tour, but that doesn't mean you can strong-arm one of your tournaments to essentially ban someone for life because he tried to make the PGA do better. Just for the record, almost all the changes Phil requested have started to take place, so Phil probably deserves more of a round of applause than the criticism he's taking now. I saw this treatment of President Trump as well, and how people tried to cancel his achievements as well. This has to stop, you guys. We'll never know if the PGA Tour bribed or paid off that reporter to release those off-the-record comments, but Phil didn't approach this in the right way. A more coordinated media attack with actual numbers to back up his case, and maybe even a whole range of players to support him. You can cancel one person very easily, but you can't cancel 5 players. You can't cancel 10 players. And a group of players brings more validity to your case and shows that it's not just one crazy guy, that there is a problem with the media split of money in the PGA Tour and that they want. If the PGA Tour didn't think they were doing anything wrong, they wouldn't have created the Player Impact Program or redistributed $857 million at the beginning of the 2022 season. Anyways, I digress. Let me know in the comments if you think I nailed this or if I'm just way out of line. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Let me know. Chowder Williams out.